Well, Dave Hawkey is Senior Research Fellow at IPPR Scotland. That's a think tank, centre-left think tank. Previously worked coordinating Scottish Government heat and energy policy. Dave, thanks so much for joining us this morning. It is funny, isn't it? There's so much going on in the world, which is worthy of our attention. But it is striking, it seems to me. I mean, we're on the third, fourth heat wave of the summer now. We're seeing what's going on in Europe. The climate crisis is getting worse, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, and unfortunately, this is sort of pretty well the scenarios that were predicted. We've been predicting this since the 1980s. I think the other thing I suppose that we are predicting is that this is going to get worse if we don't actually do something pretty serious about the climate crisis. So the kinds of heat waves that we're seeing in Europe at the moment, the Climate Change Committee anticipates that they will become normal in the UK by 2050 if global heating continues on its trajectory. So we've seen globally many countries having unfortunately sort of rowed back to a degree on their climate ambitions. This kind of event should really be a wake-up call that's not the future that we want, and that we need to do more to reduce our emissions.
Is it possible to, I mean, adaptability is something, and mitigation is something that we will inevitably be talking about far more. Is it possible to adapt and mitigate some of the worst excesses of this?
Well, I mean, the excesses are sort of difficult. I mean, when you've got a wildfire on your doorstep, that's hard to mitigate. I suppose it's something that does need something sort of well planned and coordinated, and there is a clear role there for government policy and the capacity of the public sector, which is another area which unfortunately is going in the wrong direction. So here in Scotland at the moment, we have policies that are designed to reduce public sector employment. We've seen sort of an increase in the Scottish Government civil service as a result of Brexit, and there are plans to sort of rein that back, which means that you'll have fewer people with that sort of responsibility and capacity to actually put in place and develop those plans and policies for dealing with these more extreme events.
There is an incongruity, isn't there, potentially at the moment? Certainly, let's just think about Scottish politics. On the one hand, we have what's going on in the Cairngorms, and of course, you can't point any individual event to climate change. You can't say definitively, but what we can say, and what scientists tell us, is these events are becoming more common, exactly as you said that they would be, and that has been long predicted as a result of climate change. Same time, of course, we've got this ongoing debate about North Sea oil and gas and further expansion, and whether the Burnham government might revise it. We saw what happened in Aberdeen in the by-election there, for understandable reasons, I suspect. Do you think that is an incongruity or a tension, or in a world where, frankly, Donald Trump is in the White House, and that whenever you're going to get a Republican in the White House, not likely that they're going to change or deviate that much from what Trump has said? Frankly, is North Sea oil and gas quite literally a drop in the climate change ocean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of uncomfortable for sort of climate campaigners, but it's also uncomfortable for the sort of North Sea oil and gas industry. These sort of two fields that we're looking at, Jackdaw and Rosebank, they're not hugely significant in terms of what's happening in the North Sea. It's a declining basin, and that decline is going to continue. And if you're thinking about the economy of the Northeast, we need a plan for that decline, whether or not those fields go ahead. You're right as well, though, to point to the fact that this is an international problem and it requires international coordination. But the difficulty is, as soon as people start sort of assuming that the international coordination is going to fail, then they become the reason for other people to also not take action. So the UK's emissions, we're sort of less than 2% of global emissions. But if you add up all of the countries that are less than 2% of global emissions, then you get to about a third of global emissions. So there is a real difficulty here that we do need to deal with. And policy is not sort of, I suppose, that adept at thinking about our role as part of this broader collective.